Welcome to this tutorial. So today I wanted to show you a tool that I am using sometimes when I want to pick a chart. I know Microsoft has this functionality, but I find that a bit old because you have to go up there in the menus. So why not do it on one worksheet that you create? So there's two things that you can do. The first thing you can do is you can select various type of data using this filter here. I'm limiting myself to 2, but it could be more. So this way I can give you an idea how your data would look like on the various charts. They're all monochrome at the moment. I explain you how you can do this. The second thing you can do is you can actually select a different color theme here. So here I'm just selecting some different one. Just the median is usually a bit more toned. So this is very useful for me, I think. So this way I can say, oh, this tree map, for instance, would be good for this data. And here you have another data and you think, oh, maybe for this other data, this one would be more suitable. So I find it useful in that way. So this training will be conducted, it sounds a bit formal, conducted in 2 parts. First, we'll have a look how to quickly create this. So that's something that is you should be familiar with. If not, then I can go through it very quickly. And then how to change the palette that is reproduced here. Okay, first let's start with this. So what I'm doing here is a filter on a pivot table. I'll explain to you why I have chosen a pivot table quickly. So the advantage of pivot table over a table, because in order to use a filter like this, you need to have some type of table. It could be either a standard table or a pivot table. The reason why I've selected the pivot table is I can refer always to the same cell here. In row 13 here, for instance, this is a pivot table and this is a standard table. In a pivot table, if you look at row 13 here, regardless of what I select, go back to the pivot table, it would give me the left to do. So this is the 2 selections I have between done or left to do. So the row 13 will always give me my selection. And that's an advantage. When I have a table here, so here I have a table and I've created a filter. If you don't know how to create a filter, you click on the table and you put insert filter. Sorry, slicer. What am I referring to here? Slicer. And when I select, for instance, the second one, left to do, it just hides the row. So in other words, my selection is moved. So sometimes it's row 13 and sometimes it's row 14 and back to 13. So this is the advantage of this. This will change. This will be dynamic. So that's it for this introduction. So I create, let's go back here, a very simple pivot table here with just 2 elements. And I create a selection. I click on a cell to select it. There's only 1 row. And then this is actually the original table. And then I have the selected here. So this will take care of that. Whatever I select here, we'll change the value here. And what do we do with the value here? The value here, we are using it in this table. So for the table, I have a task list is as usual, but it could be any type of data. So that's why I don't want to spend too much time on this. You have 2 columns that you want to toggle. So this one, I have the done. So this is task list, the work that has been done. And the other one is left to do. It's the work that is left to be done. So how all the charts are being drawn based on that column here. And when I click on done, I have done some basic conditional formatting to show that, yes, I'm selecting this one, but it all goes here. So this is the column that is being used. When I click on the chart, they all select this here. And here it's a very simple selection here. If the selection in this cell here is done, then what do? I select the row H, which is done, and if not, I'd select 18. So this is a dynamic table. So this is done. I think I went through that a bit quickly because that's something that you might be familiar with. Now, how did I create all those charts? Well, I think you know how to create charts. If not, you know, you just select the data this way. Let me actually recreate one here. You select this, you do an insert chart, recommended chart, and then you select a chart. So let's take the first one here. Voila. And then I remove what is at the bottom here. I right click on it, format data series, and I narrow down the gap width. Okay. So this is not a good example because if I just left to do here, it might have more data. Anyway, so this is, once you've created one, you can just merge a few cells and put the name on top. But what I suggest you do, and this is what I wanted to do, I'm just going to go on a blank one. Once you've selected one, instead of reproducing the process, what you can do is just press Ctrl D, and then you duplicate them. And then you can actually select everything, press a massive Ctrl D, and then you have them, you select them again, and then you select them again. And then what you can do is I'm just going to put that back. You go under change start type, and then you go through all the tabs that you like. For instance, here you can have a pie. Yes, I need to go through something else. So this, what could it be? You could have the tree map here. And so you have all the tabs here. So what I've decided to do, first I'm going to remove the grid line so it's a bit clearer. What I've decided to do is I've decided to have them all monochrome. I'm not very fan at the moment, so just monochrome darkness. So you have the choice between a colorful here. That might be more what you want. But just to select, I just wanted to go through the monochrome. So what you do is you just chart type and then you go monochrome. Obviously, it'd be best if you could do this before you duplicate them here. If I duplicate it, for instance, if I do the change chart type and I just say put funnel, for instance, I select this one, then it keeps the color scheme. So you do all this and you put the name of the chart at the top. So if you click on any chart here, it will always refer back to those two. Just here, those two here. So this is done. So we've done the filtering. We've created all the charts. What is left to be done? This. Now, how do we do this? So now you've noticed that the color that I've selected for this theme here is the green here. So this is the green here. And what I've done here is I've reproduced the whole palette here. So how did I do this? I just went there and I took the first one, the first one here. This is just for info, I suppose, and just to show you the second, the second one. So I've done that, I've reproduced the full array of colors. I've reproduced it here. And the green I've selected is this one. So this is why I have this little note here, turn. I put turn under. Let's put it back. So this is the one that I've selected. So this is my selection. Now, if I change the theme, it is this one always that will show. And as I have a live example here, I just wanted to allow that sometimes the system doesn't really cope fast enough, depending on your computer. My computer, I think, is relatively powerful, but not maybe the best. So here, just a matter of some time, just clicking is enough. And if clicking is not enough to put them back in line, you just right-click on them, and you just right-click on the chart itself, and you select change chart type. You don't change it, you just press OK, and I will update it. So sometimes it takes a little while to follow. Okay, so here what I've done is I've created a macro. A macro, scary world, scary word as well. I'll do a video soon on how to create very basic macros, but there is just one line, so don't be afraid. So the only thing that you'll have to do is you'll have to save your spreadsheet under a different type. You have to put Excel macro enable workbook. So as soon as you create a macro, that will give you this message. 1025. Okay, so once you've saved that on the macro enable Excel, what is left to be done is to create a macro, and you will create a shape of your choosing, or a photo or whatever. And once you've created it, you right click on it and you just have to assign the macro. Now, if there are purists there, this is a two-step process. I have to select it, and after I have to press. So I could have done something quote unquote smarter, and as soon as this cell changes, that would have changed it so immediately, but that would have required that I have my macro quote unquote listen to the Excel to see if there's any change all the time, and I really didn't want to do this. I wanted to do something simple. It's not laziness, it's just efficiency. Okay, so this is done. So I have two cells here. The first one is where I select. So how do I select? So here you need a validation of some sort. Where is it? Okay, so here I've reproduced all the, if we go in a page layout, all the themes here. So I've just, I think I managed to find a file somewhere, but it's the type of things that will take you faster just to write them instead of trying to find a file. You have to write them all here, or at least the one you're interested in. And here I have a bit of a high-level view of the color here. So you need to have this so you can select it. So, and here you do data validation, data validation, and then yes, I'm not going to do it, but once you go on this, because it's a, let me do it here, for instance. You do data validation, and then you go for a list, and then the source. You go in the palette here and you just select all those. Press OK. So here now I can select anything here. So this is the first step. Reproduce all the theme names here. Data validation. Go to that list, select all this. And now you have it. You just need to apply it. And this is where the macro comes into play. So you create a shape like this. So as I was saying, it could also be an icon. If you want to be very cheesy, for instance, is there something with color? Can Microsoft give us something with color? Or a rainbow, really? So you could have this, for instance. It's very ugly, so I wouldn't recommend it, but you can right-click and assign macro as well. Here I have my macro already created. Now, if you don't have the developer tab here, you need to insert the developer tab. You need to customize it, customize the ribbon, and then you need to make sure that you add the developer here. So here it's unticked, but I'll do a video on how to create macro. So just trust me, put the developer here. And then you go under Visual Basic, and this is where you need to create your workbook. So how do you do it? You add a volume, a module here, sorry. You add a module, you name it. There is a sub to start with and an end sub, so I'll go through this quickly. Don't want to repeat myself, but I'll do that into another one. You give the name here, I've called it test chart. Now we're going to go through this. So this is, I was not lying when I told you there's only one line. There's only one line. So the important comment here is, first of all, you select active workbook, theme color scheme, load. So what that does, it's quite implicit, but it does load the color scheme. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Active workbook, theme color scheme, load. Then you need to go on your computer and you need to find this folder here, the theme colors folder. You need to scan for it on your computer, and you need to put the full path here. It sounds scary, but it's there somewhere, so you should be able to find it. And the last, so here, because here wants you to load an XML. Once you've selected, found the root, you don't forget to put the last backslash. You put end, and you put the cell, which is the sheets plus the range cell, which is C10 here for me. C10, 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 it's this one here. I merged this, but it's C10, so it takes the top left when it's merged. And the chart is the name of my tab. So here, more or less, I will retrieve, sorry, the theme here. The path, the theme, and after I add .xml. That's all it does. That's all it does. So here, when I do this, I just change the value of that cell here, of value C10. When I right-click on this, I've assigned the macro test chart. I selected it already. And then if I press this, it changes it. So here, for instance, if I want to assign a macro here, that's the macro I've just created. I press OK. And now I can press this one as well. And hopefully it works. So that is it, folks. You can change this using the filter. I hope I didn't mess up the explanation on this too much for the table here, but that's not really the purpose. But for this, it's extremely simple. I'm just going to summarize once again very quickly. Create a list of palettes. Do it manually if you have to. Trust me, it's sometimes the faster way to doing it. Then do a data validation to retrieve the proper palette. Then you create a shape and you assign the macro that you will assign the macro, and then you go under Developer, Visual Basic, and you create this very simple macro here. Now, I know, and I often talk about this as another way to quickly check the theme, it's to do it this way here. But sometimes, sometimes it's not immediate. And the challenge is, let's say you want to really try one, as you press this one, for instance, red, orange, you try it, and after you have to go back here. So it's good for a very quick view, but I think if you want to have a deeper look, it's you can have this as well. And also it's a good opportunity to learn a first macro and to learn about themes, where is it on your computer and the likes. So I hope that didn't hurt your eyes to merge this red here, but I think that this could be useful. So look at the challenge that you can have here somewhere. Okay, I hope you find some use in this.